Gemini, the twins. Head sign of the air triplicity. May 20th to June 21st. This sign governs the shoulders, arms, and hands of the grand man or macrocosm. It is a changeable, masculine, double-bodied, common, commanding sign, the positive pole of the air triplicity. The higher attributes are reason and sensation. The sun enters the sign Gemini each year on or about the 20th of May, and departs from the sign on or about the 21st of June. The sun on entering the sign should be given 6 days before coming into full touch and action with the influence of the sign. A person born between the dates of the 20th and 27th of May would not receive the full central results of the sign's individuality as he would be born when the sun was on the edge of the sign. This is known as the cusp, and its nature and impulses partake of the sign the sun has just passed through and out from, and the native will also partake of the attributes of the sign of the zodiac in which the moon is located at the time of birth. Many Gemini persons may be said to be double. One trait of character seems to contradict another trait, in other words, they have a dual nature in active operation. They want to travel and they want to stay at home. They wish to study and they wish to play. They are happy and unhappy, satisfied and dissatisfied at the same time. They are in love and not in love, warm and cold in one breath. The Gemini people do not fly quite as high as the other denizens of the air triplicity, because the twins are not always agreed upon the destination. This contradiction causes a state of nervousness which is very hard to overcome. Gemini people are extremely affectionate and generous, very courteous and kind to all. They are proud of birth and have a great deal of family pride. They are not a selfish or a penurious people. They are thoughtful of the poor and very sympathetic with the suffering. They are fond of the arts and sciences, are great readers and good talkers, and very quick to see the point of a story or joke. These people are not usually successful wage earners, and frequently give away as fast as they can earn. They have very strong religious natures, and are often found among church members. A creed is of great importance to their happiness, and yet they rarely place implicit confidence in any theological system, though they will stoutly defend the one they have appeared to espouse. Gemini people have a great respect for religious teachers, and are sometimes very timid and apprehensive about thinking for themselves. This is attributable to the necessity they feel for something to lean upon, and the small opinion they have of their own ability to decide questions of moment. There are no more affectionate, unselfish, and self-sacrificing people in all the 12 signs of the zodiac than those who come under Gemini. Gemini people are often very executive with their hands, and can cut and plan, and see into a device or pattern, and, if not interfered with, will bring the work to beautiful completion. But they are not able to tell beforehand how they are going to do it. Explanations and arguments are impossible to the average Gemini person, in fact, to most of the air people. Gemini women are especially fond of color, and of flowers, and of everything beautiful in nature and art. The finest efforts of the writers and poets that come under this sign are reached by inspiration and not by analysis or previous intellectual preparation. Both Emerson and Margaret Fuller Ossoli were born under Gemini, and are splendid illustrations of the true Gemini genius. Personal appearance. Those born under this sign are usually well-formed, of dark hair and bright complexion, with a sharp, quick eye. Companions. For true friends and companionship, Gemini individuals will find the best results with calm, quiet, and reserved people, first those born under Aquarius and those from Virgo. Faults. The faults of persons born under this sign are a scattering of force and great unrest. They are natural complainers and can imagine evil. They are never still, though a responsibility or a duty will settle these people with as much alacrity as those born under other signs. They crave knowledge, but are exceedingly impatient of methods. These are the people who most deceive themselves. Some of the best public speakers and lecturers are born under this sign, but they have attained eminence only by a great struggle for continuity, and by honesty with themselves. They have two distinct natures, which are the Castor and Pollux of Greek mythology, and are continually crucifying each other. These people are very anxious and expectant, and often so restless and nervous that they destroy their health. They are liable to go to the extreme in everything they do, always hunting for occupation and anxious to go, and to do something, they know not what, and are filled with a dissatisfaction which nothing can explain. They are given to regrets, can be very suspicious, and can be very untruthful. The Gemini person who has not come into a knowledge of spiritual truths is exceedingly apt to think entirely of the personality of those he is associated with. If the external appearance is pleasing, and grace and beauty charm the eye, there is nothing more to be desired. Many Gemini women come to grief by their superficial judgment in such matters. As they are very affectionate and demonstrative, they suffer jealousy from the neglect and indifference of those they have mistakenly elevated to places they were never intended to occupy. Diseases. The diseases from which these people are likely to suffer are throat and lung troubles, nervous diseases, and nervous prostration. Children, as well as grown persons, under this sign are often troubled with stomach worms and eczema. These maladies and every other known to man can be entirely dominated, forever cast out, by those who realize that mind is the master and body the servant of mind. Mode of growth. The only rest and repose for Gemini people will be found in metaphysical study and practice, and spiritual revealment. They must learn patience and silence, keep the conversation free from personality, remembering that heaven is within the temple of the human breast, and not outside of it. They must learn continuity and consistency, and they should never permit themselves to do the acts they have condemned in others. They should firmly resolve never to complain or murmur, as this habit increases with practice to an awful extent, making the elderly people born under this sign very disagreeable in the family. Silence and passive reason, with introspection, are the true inner pathways of spiritual illumination. Gemini people should learn to keep their feet and hands still. The restlessness of these members is a true symptom of the restlessness of the spirit, and the determination to conquer a physical expression very quickly has its influence upon the subjective mind. They should strive for unity of purpose, thus overcoming the propensity of Castor and Pollux to pull in opposite directions. They should realize the glaring faults of a nature that dislikes today the things that were coveted yesterday. They should determine to free themselves forever from their tendency to sit in judgment upon their fellow creatures. Marriage. A union with a person born in Aquarius or Virgo is likely to be most happy. The offspring will then be strong and bright. When united with an Aquarius person, children are usually very bright and quick of intellect, but when united with almost any other sign, life, as far as domestic relations are concerned, is not likely to be one of satisfaction. These conditions depend much upon whether the contracting parties are on the same plane of material and social life. Government of children. Children born in this sign should be associated with persons who are quiet, calm, and restful. They are often thrown into fits, and women into hysterics, by undue excitement and nervous disturbances. The best training for both young and old born under this sign is to learn to talk slowly and cultivate calmness. These children often become ill from no apparent cause. Such condition is usually caused by too rapid eating. They should be carefully guarded against looking for evil, as this soon grows into vague imaginings of evil and error everywhere. This tendency is seldom eradicated in later years, producing the most unhappy results in an old age full of suspicion and distrust. The governing planet is Mercury, and the gems are beryl, aquamarine, and dark blue stones. The astral colors are red, blue, and white.